some people to get in here. And let me know if you guys can hear me, that you can see me, so that we are good before we get started. And I don't know if I can see the comment section or what.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I
Ash
was
said,
just
okay. Tom?
okay, there we go. Yeah. No, the I tried the link before and it was like waiting for host, but now it's on. But oh yeah, now I see everybody. There we go. Uh, du-du-du.
Okay.
Yes, we both have on red, and we this was not planned at all. We got on. I
At
said,
all.
now both of us wearing red.
You know we never plan to dress alike, but great minds do think alike. Oh,
It must
oh,
be that it must be that Sagittarius in us.
always, as always. But of course. Hey, Ash. You know, I can't see the chat on my phone, which is why I'm glad I have my two phones, one for the and one for the. I got two phones so I can check this one to see what's going down.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, so let's go ahead and get it started. So, if it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm actually Kanye, an intuitive alchemist and energy reader, and I'm just here to help y'all heal. All right, and we're healing with humor because laughter is always the best medicine. Talk to these people, B.
I am B. I am Magoon. I am an instrument for spirit to use as spirit pleases at any given moment in time. And with that being said, you will see me operate in a multitude of gifts, so you will never see me operate in just one, depending on the flow of the night. And as Ashley stated, we are here to simply help you heal, whether that's going to be holding your hands, handing you a tissue, or popping those hands, right? We're here to simply help you get to the best part of yourself, and that is your highest self.
Absolutely. And just to build off of what you said, Bestie, he's right. We are here to help you heal. We are here to give you the tools that you need to heal yourself. We are not here to heal you. We are here to help you heal yourself. All right. And this is the whole point and part of self healing. It's a self healing journey, and it's a journey that you will be on, go on, and you will continue to move through life on by yourself. If you do encounter family and things like, you will continue to go on this journey by yourself. All right. Now, just so you guys know, we were formerly on Instagram, but because of several technical difficulties, we have decided to move it on over to YouTube. Okay. Decided to just do a little switcheroo and come on over to YouTube. So thank you guys for being patient with us. Those of you guys that were on YouTube, I'm sorry, those of you guys that were on Instagram with us, thank you for being patient with us. And we are going to now rock out on YouTube and see how we like this platform. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into tonight's topic. So, what are we talking about, my beautiful soul family? We are talking about when spirituality becomes an excuse for red flags. When spirituality becomes an excuse for red flags. Now, tonight's conversation may step on a few toes. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna hold you. Tonight's conversation may ruffle a few feathers out this, okay? But as we always say, 40 minutes of cards and conversations is like 4 years of college. All right. If you're going to chill with us, you might as well build with us. We're not here to blind lead you. We're not here to just, soften the blow. We're here to give it to you straight, no chaser. The real spill, hole and feel. All right, guys. So even if this offends you or it makes you feel some type of way, all in all, it's going to help you on your spiritual journey. Point blank, period. All right. So even if it does trigger you, it's also going to free you. Even if it triggers you, this is also going to free you. All right. So let's talk about it. When did red flags start getting renamed as spiritual journeys? When did red flags start getting renamed spiritual journeys? Okay. When did inconsistency become, oh, she's just finding herself? She's just trying to find out who she is. When did disrespect become, oh, he's just healing? That's all he's just healing. It's okay if he's disrespectful because he's healing. He's trying to find himself, right? And when did confusion become, oh, that's just my twin flame, all right? So it's okay if all these things happen because all in all, that's my twin flame. Nah, we ain't going for that, all right? Because at some point we have stopped trusting what we felt and we have started believing that we could spiritually justify all of these behaviors. At some point we have stopped trusting ourselves and we have spiritually justified these behaviors. And what do I always say? You have to go within when it comes to you guys trying to find that knowledge, that information, that inner knowing. That's going to be your wisdom. That is your 5D that you are connecting to. Remember, when you are on earth, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. You have to stay connected to your 5D self. You have to always stay connected to the ethereal realms, and that is going to help you on your spiritual journey. So when you don't listen to that inner voice, you're going to be led astray. And especially when you're still trying to find yourself, if you continue to silence that inner voice, what gets louder? That side. Outside gets louder. So you start to adapt to the voices and the opinions of people outside of yourself. And then you just lose that direct connection to your higher self because you are now listening to the outside world and you are silencing your own voice. So that's why I need you guys to always stay connected to your fire self, always stay connected to that inner voice, that inner knowing, excuse me, that gut feeling, and that's going to always lead you to the promised land. All right. So let's keep moving. All right. So when you're tapped in, when you are into your ethereal self, your higher self, you see things deeper than the surface. You see things deeper than the average person would see. Now, you can look at a situation and you can see it for what it is, or you can look at it and see the deeper meaning behind it. Now, what do I mean? You can look at a toxic relationship and just say, all right, well, that's just what it is. This person just is just toxic. Or you can really look at the deeper meaning behind it beyond the surface and understand, overstand, and understand that it's trying to teach you something. Maybe it's trying to show you that this has been happening in your family for generations, and it's time for you to break it. It's time for you to say, you know what, this stops with me. So no longer am I going to entertain toxicity because the people that came before me have entertained it and they never rectified it. They never clarified it. They never eradicated it out of our bloodline. So I got to do it now. So this is the time for you guys to really just stop looking at situations as surface and try to look at the deeper meaning. Would you say that is true for you as well, B? Like when you are faced with a situation, you don't just
Mhm.
look at it like, well, okay, that's just what it is. You look at the deeper meaning behind it. Okay, well, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? Because I know everything happens for a reason. And at this point in my life, nothing is a coincidence. So do you start to question certain situations when they're happening?
I do, especially if it is a situation that is. I just went through this last year at this same time, and it's like, why is this coming up again? And then I'm like, okay, you're testing me to see, have I grown? Did I learn the lesson the first time? And then the second half of that of my answer is also rooted in, if it's something new, is it is this a test, or is this something where spirit wants me to rely on myself and not make it too deep? and not make it too spiritual, not make it spiritual. And that is usually for people who use spirituality for everything.
Mhm.
Um, because there's a balance. Let me first state that there is a balance. So whenever you are overly using spirituality to make decisions for yourself, spirit will allow things to happen and step away from you just to see how you respond, just to
Mhm.
see what type of decisions, and that's still understanding, have you grown? Like, because I wanted to make that clear. It's still to see, have you grown in this situation? Will you go back to the same situation that you just got out of because it's
Mhm.
presented in a new packaging?
Right. That
Like
part.
so there's been times, well, I'm going to share a testimony, and you don't have to say who you are because there's somebody on the live that has gone through this. And this particular person that's online right now was asking a question, and I distinctly remember spirit was like, no, do not give this person an answer because they already were given the answer. And I was like, what do you mean? And spirit was like, no, I've told this person what to do, they have to do it, stop asking. And so when I shared that with the person said back to me, they started laughing first, and they said, well, yeah, because you're like the third person that I've asked. And I'm like, there you go, spirit wants you to figure this out.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that. And just to build for what you said, sometimes the answer is not the answer that we want or that we need to hear at the moment. Sometimes the answer is simply looking within and going within to find the answer. And so often we look outside ourselves for everything, for validation, for comfort, for love. And
Mm-hmm.
all of that has to be felt within first. All of that has to be found within first. And I think once you find that within, it's not hard at all to find it outside of yourself and you recognize it for what it really is. And like I said earlier, you see things beyond the surface once you have that spiritual awakening, once you go through that dark night of the soul. Those that know. Once you have spent enough time doing that inner healing, doing that root work, transmuting that trauma, really cleaning your bloodline, you understand what real love looks like. And you no longer look at potential as real love. I saw someone said in the comments that, what they say? Let me scroll back up because they said something I wanted to comment on. Um, Red flags. Okay, so someone said I went through a red flag toxic relationship. And you know what? A lot of us have seen the red flags in relationships and have continued to participate in them. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to us seeing potential. I can only speak so far. And potential doesn't guarantee success, doesn't guarantee that something is going to work in your favor. Potential doesn't mean that this person is going to live up to the expectation that you have in your mind. Because you can have expectation for someone. If they themselves, if they don't aspire to be that for themselves, then they're never going to reach that pinnacle that you see them at. All right. So it has to be equal. Like or they always say in church, um, equally yoked. You have
You're
to be equally
ignorant.
yoked.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that you guys have the same education level, that you're on the same path when it comes to same job title. That simply means that you guys have both done the inner work or you are doing the inner work and you guys understand why you guys are here. And a lot of people don't know why they're here. They don't know what they're supposed to do on earth. They don't know what traits they're supposed to transmute, what healing they're supposed to do for themselves and their bloodline. So that's why solitude is important, my beautiful soul family. I will say that again. Solitude is so important. You will learn more in solitude than you will ever learn in a classroom. That seriously,
Yeah.
you will learn so much about yourself when you spend time with yourself. And a lot of people are not comfortable spending time with themselves because why? When you spend time with yourself and ish don't go right, you have no one else to blame but yourself. So it's hard for some easy to at someone else outside of themselves when the tower hits and everything is just crazy. So a lot of people don't like to spend time with themselves and time with themselves because it's easier to, put that blame on someone else. But the more time with yourself, the more you learn about yourself, and you will learn who you are as a person, who you are to the core, and what you need to work on so that you can be a better person and make better.
Hey, Ash.
Were you going to say something or not?
Oh, yes.
Go
One,
ahead.
one, you were starting to go in and out, so I was going to tell you to
Um,
check the temperature of your phone. We were able to hear. Um, so I wanted to let you know that. But in response, I also wanted to say, when you were talking about the solitude, that solitude is a real thing, people. Because in solitude, you are examining nobody else but yourself,
mhm,
and you will get to a
mhm,
point, and well, I can say specifically for me, um, I'm in this space, and I don't know if this is because of who I am. If you've been following us for a while, you understand where this is coming from. But now it's gotten to the point with me when it comes to dating, when it comes to people with red flags, spirit will not allow the date to happen, the interaction to happen, whatever it is. Something comes up,
mhm,
and it just doesn't happen. Um,
yeah,
I can meet the person, and then spirit it's almost just like because I'm a seer, it's like I'm seeing all the things, and it's like, yeah, this isn't going to work out. I will never see
yeah,
this person again. That actually just happened. I met with someone, and we had our interactions were really good. But as the person was leaving, it came to I said, I'm never going to see this person again. If I see this person again, it's going to be in passing on the street, but it's not going to be an
mhm,
intentional meeting, and that's
yeah,
okay. So you have to get to a point in your life where when the red flags start to happen and the thing doesn't work out, the project, the business project, the job, the school, the person, whatever it is, if it doesn't work out, that means that there is something better for you, and it's just not
right.
your time to grasp that, right? um So it's whenever you see the red flag, don't stay in it. Leave and watch how things start to fall in place. Even that was even and I shared this a lot with my move to my new state, right? A lot it was so much that was happening, and I got the message clearly and strongly. Even had two people that both identify as prophets. And they said, you, or actually three, but two of them said, you have to be here by July. And I said, the only way that that's going to happen is if God provides. My tower
Mhm,
moment came when I looked at, like, well, what's here? What's going on? And there was a school here because I was trying to get back into my last feat of school of scholastics, right? And I saw that this particular school in this city had the exact program, or what I thought was the exact program. So I said, okay,
mhm,
well, I don't mind making a move. I can do in-state tuition. It all makes sense. But how is everything else going to happen? Well, it turns out that my lease ended on on the last week of the month, which means I had already paid for that month, which means I could
Mhm.
take my that check that was coming in towards my move. So that's what I did. When I went back over my records, the rental company that I use, and I mind you, I had to pack up an entire apartment, my dog, and my car. When I
Mhm.
went back to the records, I said I probably spent like what, $1,000? No, I only spent $750, to which 50 of that dollars was coming back to me because it was the deposit. So I spent $700. So I said, wow, look how things line up when you say, yes, I'm ready. Look how things
Mhm.
line up when you start to notice the
Mhm.
red flags and you move when you're supposed to move.
Mhm.
Because when you do, things fall into place like that.
They will.
And it was a very beautiful drive. It wasn't a storm, nothing.
Mhm. I love that. And to build off of what you said, we have to remember that things are going to always work out in our favor. They may not work out how we want them to or how we see them working out in our head, but they're going to work out in our favor. And that's how you know when you made the right decision. After you made the decision, your life improves. That's how you know that you made the right decision. Now, if you made the wrong decision and your life tends to get worse, or no, if life tends to get worse after you've made a decision, that's also an indicator as well that maybe what you were in or what you were doing previously wasn't right, so everything had to fall apart so that things can get better. So that's another way of looking at it. If you leave a certain situation or a job or whatnot, not even a relationship, and things get worse, that's usually an indication that, you know what, maybe that was the last of the tower and I need to just start fresh now. Like Phoenix rising from the ashes, because sometimes
Yes,
spirit needs to bring you to a place where
yes.
you are at your absolute lowest to bring you back up, okay, to where the sun is shining. So don't always think that because you're at your lowest, that's because you did something wrong. That could also be spirit just wiping the slate clean, because once a tower happens, we automatically think, oh my God, like I did something wrong. This is horrible. What's happening? But sometimes those tower moments have to happen to clear the way and to clear out people that were never meant to be with you long term. Sometimes that's another reason why tower moments happen. That's why I love when I get the tower card in readings. I'm like, okay, who need to go? Who need to exit stage left? Okay,
Okay.
because when I get that
What do
tower
you
card,
say?
when I get
Listen.
that tower card, I know something needs to go. Something needs to exit. Okay, so I'm ready for it to leave so that something better can enter. So I don't fret and get all nervous when the tower card comes out. I'm like, all right, it's time for me to clean house. It's time for
And
me
you
to
know,
get rid of something.
and you know what else? As you was talking, Spirit reminded me of something that I shared on another platform years ago, but also because I've been planting a lot lately. So I planted some seeds today earlier. And Spirit reminded me and said, remember, right before you grow, right before I take you to where you go, you're like a seed.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna be in a dark space. There's gonna be a time
Mm-hmm.
where it's gonna be nothing but darkness, and you think it's an attack on you, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the process. Because when you look
Mm-hmm.
at, do I have the seeds? I don't have them in here. It's in the other room. But when I looked at the seed, it says to, before you plant the seeds, go 5 to 6 inches deep into the soil. You drop the seeds and then you cover the seeds and let it germinate for a while. The germination takes maybe, depending on the seeds, a few days to a few weeks before you start to see
Mm-hmm.
anything starting to happen. During that process, during the germination period, the seed is breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
The seed is going
Mm-hmm.
through tower moments where the things
Mm-hmm.
that it is used to is starting to fall away, fall off. Old habits
Mm-hmm.
as a seed of just being is no longer acceptable. Now the plant is forced to come out of its shell. Now the seedling is forced to start taking root. Now that
Yeah.
plant, as it begins to grow, is forced to climb through the dirt before it hits the
Mm-hmm.
surface. And that's
Mhm.
where many of us have been in. We have been that ceiling, and it's just like, oh
Mhm.
my goodness, when are we gonna stop? When is it gonna be my time to shine? And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, there's the
That's
daylight. And
right.
guess what? That is the sun card. That is
That's
the sun
right.
card because the sun card is like, you have
Mhm.
arrived. This is
Mhm.
what you have been looking for. This is what you have been
Mhm.
praying for. This is what you have been hoping for. And now it
Mhm.
is here. Now it's time for you to
Mhm.
bask in the sun. And then that plant grows up
Mhm.
and starts producing the fruit that it's supposed to.
That's right. That's right. That is so true. And forget that again, as humans, it's hard because we live in a world where we want things to be instant. Like we want things to just come expeditiously. So we need to remember
Mhm.
that everything is a process. Everything is
Everything.
a process. And waiting can be instrumental into getting us what we really truly need. Not so much what we want, but what we need. So that waiting period is very important. And we don't like to wait. We want things to just come, you know, on the fly, quickly, right? But everything that comes quickly is not going to be good for us. And that's something else we got to remember. So let's keep it moving. So, yes, potential is not a relationship. All right. And y'all need to understand first and foremost that spirituality was never meant to make you tolerate what your spirit is rejecting. Spirituality is never meant to make you tolerate what your spirit is rejecting. And this is when you have to also look within, go within, and really connect to your higher self. And if it's telling you something's not right, guess what? It's not. It's not. And I think we dismiss those feelings the majority of the time because we want to see the light in dark situations, or we want to reroute the or reroute the directions to go another route because we think that it's going to work out if we just go this route. But sometimes we just need to just let something already rejecting itself, and sometimes people will reject themselves out of your life. Sometimes situations will reject themselves out of your life. All you have to do is just wait.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't even have to like say something, have a substantial reason why something needs to be let go. Sometimes people just, naturally fade out because the higher you go in your spiritual journey and your healing, you're not going to resonate with a lot of people. A lot of people
Mm-mm.
aren't even going to understand who you are anymore. You're going to have to introduce yourself to a lot of people because they're not going to see you the same way as when they first met you. And that is because you are radiating, you are vibrating on a higher frequency. And I'll
What you
never
used to
forget,
say?
somebody, huh?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead first.
Now I was going to say, I'll never forget, somebody told me, you're not acting like yourself anymore. And I was just thinking to myself, I know I'm not. Like I'm not who I was when you knew me. And I'll never be that person again. You should be in a constant state of evolving every single day. You shouldn't even be the person that you were yesterday, 2 hours ago, 60 seconds. You should constantly be in a state of evolution because
Mm.
every living and breathing thing on Atlantis needs to evolve. And if it doesn't, what is it doing? It's DEAD. If it's not evolving, it's survived. Okay. If you're evolving, that's basically what's happening with you guys. So please make sure you are doing the necessary soul work, the inner work. That's the work that really matters. Yeah, it's nice to have a fancy title. It's nice to have a nice car. It's nice to procreate and have a family. But if you're doing that soul work, if you're working on yourself, if you're not trying to elevate your bloodline, then what are you really doing? Why are you
Mhm.
really here? And I always like to tell this to people that I counsel, you have to go within and really figure out what your purpose is here. And if you don't know what it is, what are you good at? What comes naturally? What do you wake up and instantly gravitate to. That's going to be a part of your purpose. That's going to be a
What
part of, yes, go ahead, honey,
what
go ahead.
I was gonna say now, what did she say in Sister Act 2? She said if singing, um what did, and I'm a paraphrase, but when Whoopi Goldberg character told Lauren Hill's character, if singing is the first thing on your mind when you wake up in the morning, if it's the
Wait.
thing that you do,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only thing you think about, then darling, sweetie, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Never let
Right.
anybody tell you anything different, because at that point it's more than just an interest. That is a
Mm-hmm.
soul investment that you have,
Mm-hmm.
that you were born here with. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, I've always had a thing and an affinity for nature. I do not mind being in nature at all, minus the mosquitoes. Now we need to talk to the creator about that, because he can take them back. There can be a redraft. Okay,
Okay.
they don't have to suck my blood. They can suck something else. Okay, all these plants out here, and they decide to eat people, but that's another story. But either way,
Exactly.
if whatever is on your mind, whatever is in on your heart, that is the very thing that you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
That is the very thing that where you will be targeted the most. And
Yeah.
even with the red flags, understand that a lot of the times those red flags are distractions to keep you
Mm-hmm.
away from who you are meant to become.
Yep.
So they're not all the time. I mean, although they do attack you, right? If that distraction can take you out of your character, that means you have to grow a little bit more.
Oh
But
yeah.
in because I was going to comment earlier about when Ash was stating about the people that push your buttons and sometimes they got to go and all that. Right. When people don't recognize who you are to them. And what's funny is I had the same conversation with an old employee of mine, and I said, you have to recognize what's for you and what's not for you. If
Mm-hmm.
anything is going to disturb your peace, you have the right and the autonomy to disconnect from it and say, I'm not going to allow this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, those people will feel like they are able to use you and abuse you however they want to without a care in the
Mm-hmm.
world.
Mm-hmm.
But that is your time to say, you know what? I disconnect. For me, I've had two jobs where people have literally tried to sabotage my work. I've had people that were above me lying on me. I even had one lady to speculate that somehow, in all of my theatrical studies and all of my health studies, I also became an expert in technology and was able to create a virus to destroy a file that had been worked on for 15 years. And for me, everyone, that was my last straw. I said, I don't have to take this. And I even told my manager, if you do believe in fact that I am the problem, feel free to remove me. And she was like, yeah, because let's put it this way. If we when a doctor gives a patient a cancer diagnosis, the doctor doesn't say, oh, we're going to allow the cancer to stay in your body to see what happens. No, the
Mm-hmm.
doctor says, we're going to come up with a plan and a strategy to extract that cancer or those cancerous cells out of your body. And then that's what
Mm-hmm.
they do. So, if in fact, when people start to say, oh, well, you're doing this wrong and you're doing that wrong, and they start sabotaging your work, that is Spirit's way of letting you know. And this is for somebody because this is the second time this is coming up for me today.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
Spirit's way of letting you know that it is time to go. No matter how much
Mm-hmm.
money you making, no matter how much the benefits are, Spirit wants you to leave to protect the gifts and that seed that is within you so that it can sprout
Mm-hmm.
up. Because if you don't, People will have you thinking that you are not the great person that you are. And when people can define you for yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
lose sight of who you are and you become something that you don't even recognize.
Right.
So what spirit does is, okay, let me cause this friction so that this person can exit out. And guess what? You take your talents elsewhere. And that's what I have done. And on this last week when I left the job, and I was trying to explain and I was trying to fight, and then in the middle of the fight, I literally said, why am I fighting for this job when this isn't my purposeful job? This is not what I've been sent on this earth to do. I said, you know what, you
Mm-hmm.
can have it. You can have it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got it. You're the experts. I've only been here for the past 3 4 months and have seen this stuff myself. You're just now coming in. You're not in the in and outs of this day. But since you're the expert, I will let you have it. The
Mm-hmm.
workers of that same job are calling me. We wish you were still here. Things have gone downhill. Things are not the same. I'm about to put in my 2 weeks notice. Well, baby, that's their tower moment, because when I tried to warn you and tried to tell you the things, you thought you took my expertise as a weakness. You took my
Mm-hmm.
sight as something, as jealousy. You didn't want to see it for what it
Mm-hmm.
was. And so now people will get what they deserve based off of their actions towards you. So now when the ship
Mm-hmm.
starts to sink, baby, you're on the island. You no longer have to worry about what's happening out in the ocean because you jumped off the ship when you were supposed to. You see how that works? And that's how spirit
Mm-hmm.
protects you. And not only protects that gift in you, that seed in you, but your peace as well. Because guess what? I have been at peace since I like when I left those jobs. The
Mm-hmm.
amount of peace that I felt has been
Mm-hmm.
insurmountable.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how much that there's even one of our followers up here right now inboxed me, called me one day and said, I'm concerned. How are you doing? Because you're a little too peaceful for me. I don't know if you remember that conversation. You know who I'm talking about. Um, but I said, I'm fine. I said, God got me. And I was in so much peace. And all mind you, I didn't have a job. Bills were being paid. Didn't lack for nothing. Other stuff came up. Those were met. And even when it did get tough, something always picked me back up. So I said, this is where spirit wants us.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit wants us in a place of peace so much and so
Mm-hmm.
deeply enrooted that nothing can shake us. Not a red flag, not a charging bull, not an incoming earthquake, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It should be able to shake us because we are that
Mm-hmm.
stabilized in who we are and what we're supposed to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And spirit will preserve you. I've noticed that too. Spirit will preserve you. Even if you have been through the mud, you will never look like what you've been through because spirit will always preserve you. And that's how you know that you are doing
Mhm.
God's work and soul work,
Exactly.
because these are the people that don't look like what they've been through, and they don't wear their entire lives on their sleeves. And what I mean by that is you can't look at them and say, oh, they had a hard life. They had a rough life. They done been through it. And some people you can look at and see that they done been through hell and back and are still pushing it. But
Right.
when you are being preserved by God, the Most High, you will never look like what you've been through. Never. You will never look like what you've been through. And I wanted to build off of something else you said. Yeah, people will try to trick you out of your spot too. People will make you believe that you are not what you are because you
Hmm.
said it, because they're not who they are. That's something else I noticed. Because they are not who
Hmm.
they are, they believe that you're not who you are because they're so used to wearing that mask. And that's why you have to know who you are So when someone tries to tell you who you're not, you can correct them. No, 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 no. That's who you think I'm not, but I know who I am, baby boo. Okay. So you could never
Okay.
tell me who I'm not or who I am or who you think I'm not. So always remember that, people. People that don't know who they are will try to trick you out of your spot and convince you that you don't know who you are. So make sure you have knowledge of self. Food for thought, a little soul glow, soul gym right there. Make sure you know who you are and stand
Okay.
on it 10 toes down. Okay. Let's keep it moving. All right. You are
Okay.
allowed to be spiritual and still have standards. Don't ever think because you have embarked on this spiritual journey that you have to lower your standards and make excuses for people that have chosen to recycle toxicity, recycle toxicals, or just recycle people in general. You are allowed to have standards. You are allowed to see someone's soul, to see that they have that potential, to see that they could possibly get over that hump, still choose to walk away. Because again, potential does not equal progress. Potential does not equal someone is going to be able to meet you where you are. So you are allowed to see someone's soul, to see the most beautiful part of them, and still choose to walk away because they're not there yet. They haven't made that connection with their higher selves yet. All right. Because
Mm-hmm.
spirituality without boundaries turns into self abandonment. Let me say that again. Spirituality without boundaries turns into self abandonment. And once you abandon yourself, the relationship is pretty much over. It's pretty much over because you're now pretty much um, in a relationship where you are self-sacrificing yourself and you are living for that person and you are no longer, you know, connected with yourself. So you're basically out of the relationship and you're just, watching that person have a relationship with you. So please, please, please make sure that you are having your boundaries, you are honoring them, and you are exiting when it's time to exit. Because one thing I noticed about us as spiritual beings having a human experience, we feel like we have so much time. We feel like that there is so much time on this earth that we could just try it one more time, or maybe go back to it later, or come back around. Like we think that we have so much time. It's not that much time in the world, guys. Like time is so fast and it's moving at a rapid pace. You guys have no idea. I just looked at a photo album that I did in 2024, and honestly, it felt like I did that last week. It was literally done in 2024. How many years ago was that? Like, time is speeding up at a rapid pace. So please don't ever think that because you're young, or because you feel young, or because you feel good, that you got time. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have time to accomplish things, but you don't have time to waste. That's what I'm saying. You don't have time to waste. Okay. You have time to complete your goals, to do the necessary soul work, the healing, but you don't have time to waste. All right. So I'm gonna just leave you guys with that because I do want to get to the Ask B. Now, if you guys are new here, if it's your first time here, just
Mm.
know that towards the end of every episode, we do an Ask B segment where one lucky person, or two if we have time, is able to ask B a question, and he pulls cards on it, excuse me, and y'all are able to do that every single podcast. So what we'll do is we'll do a general reading B, and then I'll put your Cash App in the comments. And if someone wants a personal reading, they can have that one-on-one with you. Now, you guys do not have to have the personal reading on the live. Now, how will we do this now that we're not on Instagram? If they want to have a one-on-one, I guess just to message you, because you can't message
Um,
you on YouTube. So how would they do that?
that's a good question. This is our inaugural. well, I guess we could say our official inaugural um session on YouTube. We were on Instagram. Um, I believe you should be able to follow me. I did put a message in there where it says Brian dash or Brian B dash three. That is me. So if you follow that page, you can go along to uh my page, and we can set something up that way. Um,
Ash said, put your IG handle here for messages being.
oh,
Um,
I
can you
will
do
do
it?
that.
Because I don't see where I have the option to comment. It says all messages are hidden.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I'll do
because I'm
that
on my
now.
phone, so yeah, guys, we're going to open up the floor after B posts his handle for Instagram, and we'll have a general reading. Now, unless you want to just see if anyone wants the personal reading now. How do you feel?
Um, I do think that there is a collective message, so I will do that. That's why I put those cards down.
And
Because
thank you
spirit.
guys for encouraging everyone to hit that like. I do see that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Realist. Thank you, Miss Corey. Ash, you know I love you. And anyone else who I may have missed. I'm trying to scroll up. Tanisha!
All right. So the two cards that came out, the first one fell out, and it is this one right here, Divine Beauty. So I'm going to let me see if I can. I'm gonna put it like this so you all can see it. Okay, maybe you still can't see it. All right, there we go. I'm gonna put this one here. Let me see. I'll just hold it. And for those of you who follow along in numerology, it is number 6. And so I'm going to read this to you. It says, the quality of divine beauty is an expression of sacred harmony. The energy of divine beauty manifests through the fourth ray of harmony, which comes to you now as a ray of light, created from the love that the universe has for you. It bestows the qualities of beauty, harmony, and balance. It empowers you to successfully complete spiritual initiation, to be able to move through a challenging time of conflict into new life. When the fourth ray of harmony appears, you are being given notice that even the most challenging conflict in your life is serving an important divine purpose. That conflict is going to eventually transform itself into the fuel you need to be born anew. The presence of Archangel Gabriel and the loving wisdom of Earth Mother transmit the blessing of the fourth ray of harmony into your soul now. You are receiving a blessing of the fourth ray of harmony. You may not understand the reason for this energy coming to you now, but you will in time. It is serving your soul growth, excuse me, and will help you transform struggle into success in a matter of great importance to you. When the fourth ray of harmony becomes active in you and your life, you are approaching spiritual initiation, which is the sort of change that creates a whole new person, a new life, and a new you. Initiation usually begins with feeling torn between two choices or ways of being. The fourth ray of harmony strengthens the ability to sit with the conflict, as painful as that can be, and not force oneself out of it. It allows for a natural evolution to be stimulated by the tension and a new way to naturally emerge. We will experience a new understanding eventually that transcends the conflict and reveals the graceful healing outcome. We outgrow the conflict as we work through it. You may wonder if you have what it takes to get through a sticking point in your life. You do. You need to discover this about yourself. This is why the Ray has come to assist you in turning this initiation into something constructive, the making of you. The advanced soul understands that we might have a very different sense of what should happen and when, compared to the greater wisdom of divine timing. Perhaps we believe that every issue in our lives could probably have been solved, say, yesterday, if the universe was willing. But if a challenge is yet to resolve itself, then there is some loving reason for it. The advanced soul trusts in that. It will not turn away or judge. Instead, the advanced soul decides to do all it can in the moment to respond to the challenge. We simply don't give up until we have outgrown the issue. This will happen in time. The challenge with the fourth ray of harmony is to adjust to the increased sensitivity to beauty and feeling it engenders. You will feel a deeper heart connection with the dignity of the natural world that can be blissful and yet also difficult as our awareness of ecological issues increases. Such awareness can become motivation to make positive change. Listening to music will take on a whole new depth of emotional experience too. You will more consciously experience the harmony or chaos and disorder in your environment. Even the colors you wear will have more impact on your state of mind. You can use this increased sensitivity to your advantage by choosing art, music, colors, and so on that feel good for you and allowing yourself to explore healthy methods for creative emotional expression. The other challenge with this ray is to not become scattered or out of balance, swinging from one extreme to the other in thoughts, actions, and emotions. This can happen when the fourth ray of harmony becomes stronger. It signifies the successful passing of initiation is close, excuse me. The tension is heightened. It is darkest before the dawn, as the expression goes. Give yourself loving but firm self discipline and kind, empowered holding of yourself during this time. The open, receptive nature that makes someone a naturally talented energy worker and channel for creative or spiritual inspiration is the same trait that makes it easier to be overly affected by the energies of other people and the human collective. Because the mainstream of humanity is still operating in a fear based energy, such option types can at times be more prone to negativity, depression, doubt, fear, and emotional instability. You can learn to overcome this without shutting down your spiritually advanced openness by being aware that it can happen and responding with loving, protecting, and grounding practices. You might choose to meditate, relax, switch off, write in a journal, dance, create art, listen to music, do exercise or yoga, have a bath, or spend time in nature to bring yourself back to balance. You will find what works best through experimentation. When Archangel Gabriel enters your life, there will be an emphasis on the use of sound for healing and balance. The words you use, affirmations, for example, and the invocations in this deck will be more powerful for you, as will the use of music. You may wish to use sound to help balance and restore your energy. You'll know when it has worked because you will feel happier and find life is simpler. You may not have a solution to an issue quite yet, but you will keep showing up for your life each day, doing what you need to do to take care of yourself, knowing that the resolution is on its way. Finally, as this ray has a special connection to the arts. You are guided to engage with art, create art, connect with artistic communities, attend creative, expressive events to help walk your life path, successfully at this time. If you have an urge to explore your creativity, you are encouraged to do this now. This enhanced connection to the arts can also indicate that dance, singing, music, and writing will have a healing effect on your body, mind, and soul at this time. Explore and enjoy the arts for your own well being, and you may even discover the art and creativity is part of a new way of life emerging for you. Now, as I get ready to say this invocation based off divine beauty, I want you to close your eyes and just take this moment. Just take in this moment. Take in the words that I just read to you, confirming what Ash and I just spoke to you about. And now the invocation. I now accept of my own free will the blessing and grace of the fourth ray of harmony. I call upon the grace and assistance of the universe, Archangel Gabriel, and the nourishing beauty of Mother Earth to help me find balance, wisdom, and creative approaches in all areas of my life. I ask for unconditionally loving assistance to outgrow problems in my life. I ask for divine mercy, compassion, and tenderness to help me grow into all I am divinely destined to be. May the art and beauty within me find authentic expression in the world. May I be held from within, grounded in my center as I approach the portal of initiation. May the unconditionally loving masters and angels that serve on this divine ray of light bring it to the hearts of all beings for the greatest good through divine mercy, will, and grace. So be it. Ashe.
Ashe.
And the next card that came out, Spirit just wanted me to show this card, not really read. And it is number 40, and it says orbs of light. Orbs of light. And the message is it's not for everybody, but for some of you, whenever you start to have a question about something, you're going to see like a flicker of light, um, orbs of light. You know how when people take a camera or they take a picture and then they start to see the orbs and they say that's your ancestors? Well, that's what's going to
Mhm.
happen. It's not going to be for everybody, but for some of you, okay, Spirit just corrected me and said most of you will start to see flashes of light, orbs of light that just kind of flash before your eyes. Even in meditation, some of you are going to start seeing orbs of light, uh, different colors. It's just going to flash before you. And that is a message that a confirmation for one that, yes, you are in the right space. And if you put it this way, if you're walking down the street and you see an orb of light to your right, Spirit wants you to direct your attention to the right because it's something that you need to see. It's something that you're going to experience that it may spark an idea. It may bring back a memory of something that you were trying to remember, or a pleasant memory from a loved one that's passed on that will help you in this season because they're all
Mhm.
connected. It's all energetic flow. And these are just reminders that you have experienced this before. You have lived through this before. Your loved one is reminding you that they are here with you. You are not alone. So I want to share that. Um, so, with this divine beauty, as you were growing, as you were going through the darkness, please listen to this again if you want the reminders. But this orb of light is helping you walk through this dark path, right? It's the flashes of light you know how they say it's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Instead of the light being at the end of the tunnel, what I'm the visual that I got are the lightning bugs that we see in the summertime. And it's like they're helping you to walk through this tunnel till you get to the light at the end of the tunnel, till you're able to see the light. And then when you're able to see the light, you know that everything happened for your growth and for a reason. And I'm done.
Yes. Thank
Mhm.
you. As per
You're
usual,
welcome.
B ate and left no crumbs. Thank you for the reading that we didn't even know we needed. As per
Hmm.
usual. So y'all just got a little like preview of how deep B can go, of how beneath the surface B can go. So if you thought that that was deep, imagine a personal reading. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the floor for any one lucky person to get a one-on-one reading with B. If anyone would like a one-on-one reading with him, please by all means ask your question. If you could put in the comments, B, because I still do not see where I can do this. I'm still new to this. B has been more, um, thank you,
I've
Realist.
been
B has
praying.
been more active on YouTube. Listen, I'm just used to posting shorts. I really haven't gone live this much on YouTube. So if you could put in the comments your Cash App, B, that would be great. I don't even know if we can pin it. Can we pin it, Realist? I don't know what I'm doing. If we can we please get someone to tell us how to pin it? Um, so yeah, so if you would like a personal one-on-one reading would be now would be the time. And we do this, thank you, B. And we do this every Tuesday towards the end of every show. So if you guys don't want a personal reading now, you can always get it next week or the week after that, or you can get it while we are offline. It's no pressure. We're just letting you guys know the services that B offers, just so you guys know for next week. And this was such a great show. It was effortless, no hiccups. I think I'm loving our new home on YouTube. How do you feel, B?
I love it. I think because we
Mm,
both have platforms already, I
mhm.
think it is easier for us to do this. And what we can do is just let everybody know that we're here now. We're
Yeah,
moving, we're switching off of the Instagram and coming over here
yeah.
to YouTube. Yeah, for sure.
And I,
And I
yeah.
did, and I did
Go
want
ahead.
to shout out Tori and Ash because well Tori, I was reading your messages about you being an artist, and if you have an Instagram, let us know so we can see your artwork. I love art. I really do, in any
Mhm,
art form.
mhm,
And they both talked about the orbs. Tori photographs orbs, so
mhm,
I think that's beautiful within itself. And an experience that happened last year, my cousin, by marriage, lost his mother, and they were sending my mom, they had recorded a video for my mom to wish her happy birthday. And
mhm,
oh my gosh, is it, well, technically it's been 2 years now. That's wild. But either way, when they sent the video, this orb flew out and came to the camera and flew away. And I was like, that was the orb. And I had to tell my cousin, I was like, I think your mother-in-law came to visit you all and wish my mom a happy birthday. And she was like, what do you mean? And I had to explain to her, I said, you have to watch this video again and watch the orb fly down. And sure enough, she went back and saw it. She said, I had to look at it from a different camera. She said, but you're right, it did. And it just stopped in the middle of the screen and then it flew off. And I said, yeah. So I be mindful of that. When you're taking a video, when you're taking pictures, some
mhm.
of you're gonna start to see these orbs for sure.
You know, that just gave me an idea. I think we should talk about the spiritual meaning behind different animals and insects next week. That spirit just put that in my brain, like, because some people don't know, and I don't want you guys to walk outside and be paranoid and ish, like, oh my God, the wind's blowing. What does that mean? I want you guys to be spiritually prepared and on your toes because everything
Mm-hmm.
has a meaning. Once you're spiritually tapped in, you know, those that don't know. Like I'm telling you guys, and I used the example a couple years ago. I think this gray cat would always sit out front of my house, a gray stray cat. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me why this cat was always showing up at my door, right? And so when I made a decision about something that I kept straddling the fence on, I never saw that cat again. And that was Spirit's way of letting me know stop staying in the gray area. Stop straddling the fence. Either it's black or it's white. When it's gray, it's like, well, maybe we'll see. Kind of, sort
Right.
of,
Right.
iffy. No, stop riding that damn fence. That's what Spirit said to me. Stop riding the fence. And the minute I made that decision, I stopped seeing that cat. Like the cat, like almost like disappeared. So we
Mm-hmm.
definitely need to talk about the spiritual meaning behind insect, animals, and things of the likes next week. So if y'all want to tap into that, please make sure you are here next week. Tuesday, 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. We will tap into
Yes.
and we just want to thank you guys for rocking out with us tonight. This is the late night crew during the witching hours. Okay, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And yes, I'm gonna start trying to go live actually more. All right, guys. I think I'm loving YouTube a little bit more than Instagram. I was even considering getting rid of my Instagram, like deleting it. I haven't made that choice yet, but I was considering because I'm just like, what am I really doing on there? Like talking ish. Yes, I'm trying to elevate the collective, I'm raising the frequency, but I really feel like YouTube is my home. I feel like I'm rocking with YouTube more. So we'll see how I feel. That's another story. So yeah, so we'll see you guys next week. Make sure you are here, same time, same place, Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussions. We will see you guys here next week. Thank you, Miss Tori. Yes, this is our new home now. I'm loving it. Look, like Mickey D's, I'm loving it. I feel so here.
Okay.
So we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, Cards and Conversations, where every episode unfolds a deck of intriguing discussion. See you guys next week. Peace. Now, how do I get out of here? Do I press the X? I don't know what to do.
I believe so. We're gonna try it. Yep.
Hopefully it's safe. Hopefully it's safe. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. End stream.